All right. So, hello guys. I hope you have been fine. It is quite some time since we did a video here in front of my whiteboard, but the topic of today required that we be in front of a whiteboard so that I am able to communicate to you, the main key points of today's video. Previously, if you have watched all my videos for this week and last week, I have visited several yards in Kenya. And by yard, I mean, places where cars are put together for sales, either, occasionally or, as a continuous business, which is opened every day. And the topic of today will focus on two main aspects. I want us to discuss second-hand cars as a great opportunity to acquire a car without incurring a lot of cost. So I speak so much about taxi businesses. So if you want to get into this business, I have always said that how you acquire your car will determine the profitability and how much you enjoy the business, because it can be extremely expensive and it can be affordable if you make right choices right before you buy the car. So we are going to discuss about second-hand cars as an opportunity for you to acquire a car, and I will show you like not all second-hand cars actually have issues as people believe, because every time you want to sell a second-hand car, people will start asking you, why are you selling it? Is there a problem with the car? Is it failing mechanically? Does it have issues? People believe that every car that is being sold out there in the second-hand market has an issue, and that is something that I want us to demystify today. Secondly, I wanted to discuss with you briefly on the available financing options that you could explore if you would like to buy a second-hand car. So, of course, you need to understand the landscape of, asset financing in Kenya, where you can go and get money and how much it would cost for you to borrow that money. Because at the end of the day, we want to see what is the total cost of acquiring or of owning the asset that you want to buy. The goal here is not just to have a car, but we really need to understand how much does it cost you to have that car, especially in the long term. Not just having that car parked within your compound, not having the luxury of driving the car around when you want. That is not enough. As business people and a person with a business mind orientation, you need to understand exactly how much is it costing you and be able to do those maths. So the goal of this video ideally is to enhance our financial literacy and understanding the key, pricing measures and the total cost of borrowing, as well as cheap, acquisition measures or opportunities that exist outside there. So from the few visits that I did to Jamhuri auction that happens every Sunday, and for your information, if you put on your Google map Jamhuri Showground, you will drive exactly to that ground where cars are parked every Sunday, and from 8 to 5 p.m. you will find plenty of cars for you to choose, from the smallest to the biggest, depending on the one that you prefer. So when you get to the second-hand market, especially at Jamhuri ground, I would really recommend that anyone considering to buy a second-hand car to visit that Jamhuri ground, even if you are not ready with the money right now, just for exploration, just for testing the waters. Go to Jamhuri ground and listen to the stories of people selling. You get my point? You will find all manner of people. There are people who are selling cars for so many reasons. You will find even elderly people, grandmothers and grandfathers seated inside their cars wanting to sell because they have an emergency with the land. They want to raise, urgent capital. There are other young people there who are selling their small cars, looking very nice and energetic, saying that they want to upgrade. There are dealers from showrooms and from yards who want to also sell their cars that probably they have not managed to sell in their showrooms. And of course, there are those people with cars that have, issues that they want to dispose them through the same market. So when you go there, you need to build a strong list of due diligence. You get my point? So meaning that what are your minimum eligibility qualifications for you to say that that is a car you could consider. You get my point? So you need first of all to go there. For me, anytime I look for a car that I need to buy. And my focus has always been on these small cars because, first of all, they are the cars that I can afford at this time. And also, they are cars that, I'm interested to do business with in Uber. So normally what I do from far, if I see a car normally people selling second-hand cars, they will try to to renovate them or to make them look better. So they will take them to car wash and make sure that all the damages in the exterior are repaired and painted and looks nice. So a lot of cars will really look attractive from far. So you get closer, and then what I always check, if it is a small car, what is the insurance? If the insurance is indicated private, it attracts much more attention from me, because normally for private used car, they will do at normally like 10,000 kilometers per year, while for PSVs, they would do 60K kilometers per year. So, and there is a way to verify this one. So if I see a car that is being sold with a private insurance, already in my heart, I know that, that is a car that has not been used so much. Even if it has been used for like 5 years on the Kenyan soil, the maximum it will have done is probably 50,000 kilometers in Kenya. But a car that has been used on public service sector, in 2 years it will have done 120,000 kilometers. Imagine. So a car used privately is much more newer, in as much as it is old in terms of the the presence in Kenya. In terms of utilization and wear and tear, is much more newer than a car that has been used maybe for a year in the public service transport. So that for me, it is very key. Secondly, I always make sure that I ask for the logbook so that I can look at the chassis number and verify the mileage at the time of importation from the Japan website. So depending on the company that did the inspection before the export of that car, there is always the mileage at export. So when that car came to Kenya, let's say it had, 90,000 kilometers, and the person selling it to you, and let's say, for instance, it was imported, maybe let's say 2 years ago, that would be 2022. And now you are buying it right now in 2024, meaning it has done 2 years. Okay. If that car is on private insurance, I would automatically expect, after verification, to find this 90,000 kilometers to be not more than 115K. Probably if that car is on private use. If someone tells you that this car was for my wife or my girlfriend, she used to go with it to work, this should be the range. 2 years, don't expect anything that is more than this. Otherwise, you should immediately suspect some malicious activities or manipulation of the odometer to alter the mileage and bring them down, or manipulation of the insurance. So some people would just intentionally put private insurance so that, because they know that that people like me and other more conscious people would be interested in that. So immediately you detect maliciousness in that, walk away from that deal, because you don't know what else is hidden. Okay? So if you are buying a car for public service from with an insurance that is of PSV, the same thing. If it was imported with 90,000 kilometers, you are buying it after 2 years, then it should have around another 100,000 kilometers on top. So it should be at around 190K. So that is a car that probably has been doing Uber full time. So if it falls within that range, immediately, I feel honesty in terms of dashboard readings, in terms of whatever the person is selling to me is telling me, because some would tell you it was imported in 2022, while else when you look at the logbook, you'll find it was imported in 2020. So immediately you detect, lies in whatever is verifiable. Then don't even go into inspecting what you cannot verify. So for me, those are outright details that you need to be knowledgeable about, so that the moment you get in there, you know what to check. And let me tell you that the cars that I have found there, their pricing for second-hand cars, you will easily save from 40%. Okay? You easily save from 40% compared to when you go to buy that car from the showroom or a straight ex-Japan car. So for a lot of people, 40% would mean maybe owning a car or not owning a car. So if you are interested actually in owning a car, please focus on a good second-hand car and developing a good due diligence list, whereby each and every box has to tick according to the criteria you need to assess. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about quickly is on how to finance second-hand cars. Okay, we know that in Kenya we have, I would say, three main types of financiers of assets like cars if you want to buy it. And when it comes to second-hand cars, it becomes a little bit more complicated, because if you go to banks, they will not accept any car that has more than 8 years since the year of manufacture. So if you are buying a car that is manufactured in 2012, right now the banks will not finance you. They will need a car that is not more than 2016 going up all the way to 2024. So if you want to buy a car for private use, maybe KC, KD, KBQ, KBR, like cars of 2009, then this one you are blocked out. Okay, so you need to explore other form of financing. So for microfinance, these are the SACCOs. They are very good, but of course they are procedures. You cannot just walk into a SACCO today and tell them to give you financing for your car. So you have to invest with them for a given period of time, probably 3 months, 6 months, depending on the SACCO, and then they can lend you, depending on your risk assessment, maybe 2 times or 3 times your savings. And some of these SACCOs, as I have mentioned before, they would accept the logbook as a collateral, meaning that you don't have to struggle so much to convince people to guarantee you, people with whom you are in that SACCO to guarantee you, meaning that you can just use the logbook to offset the risk that you are bringing to them by borrowing their money. So you can look at some of those SACCOs I have mentioned before. We have Waumini SACCO. I heard they accept logbook financing. We have Biashara SACCO, and then we have Stima SACCO. So if you save with those companies, they will accept to give you money against, them remaining with the logbook. And then there are these other companies that are called non-deposit taking financiers. So meaning that non-deposit, it simply means that they don't accept, like normally people don't save money through them. You don't go there and receive your salary through them. And these are the kind of M-Copper, they are the kind of Mogo, the kind of What to Credit. And these guys, they really play a very good role. In my view, they fill a gap that none of these other financiers are able to fill, in as much as they take a big risk, because the category of people mostly they will finance are people normally who want urgent financing. They finance people who need urgent financing because they unlock their loans within a matter of hours. And also, they also attend to a category of people who want financing, but they are not bankable, or their credit risk is too risky for these other people to handle. So if you go to them, with cars that, that are not even accepted by some insurance companies, then they will finance that car. They will take so much risk, but remember, you will have to pay for the risk they are taking on you. So their interest rates might be a bit higher. So probably 3 or 4 or 5% per month. Okay. Is it per month? Yes, per month. And then you will find that if you take too long to repay, you might find yourself paying 3 times or 2 times the amount. But the banks will not simply take certain risks. So it's either you are eligible or you are not eligible. They will decide to give you or not. But if you are too risky, they will not charge you like an interest rate of 80% and say that because of your risk, we will charge you maybe an interest rate that is, a bit out of reach. But these guys are like, we will take the risk, but you will also pay that interest rate that is as high as your risk. So if you want to finance any of these second-hand cars, probably within a period of less than 6 months, you can go to these guys, okay? If you have been saving with a SACCO, well and good, it will be much easier. If you are bankable and the car that you are buying is not more than 8 years old since the year of manufacture, then a bank could come in to rescue you. So that is the video that I wanted us to discuss today. So guys, don't be so much fearful about second-hand cars. Me, I have experience with it. I know the due diligence, and it's the most exciting thing for you to do when you are buying actually your first car, because it will help you first of all learn the things to look out or to watch out for when you are buying a car. It will help you to learn so many things about cars, their fuel efficiencies, their consumptions, the verification of mileage, so many things. But if you have cash money and you walk right into a showroom, you will feel like convinced that you are buying a new car and no need for you to do a lot of due diligence. And in that process, then you miss to learn out on so many things about cars. But again, if you are buying a second-hand car, it might take you even like 2-3 months before you get the right car. And in between those 3 months, you are engaged in continuous learning and, gaining a lot of information about cars, so that when you go now into your second car, you will actually be advising people on how to purchase and how to do due diligence. So thank you guys, and goodbye for now.